Meanwhile, a Valrico mother is now facing multiple counts of attempted first-degree premeditated murder for trying to kill herself and her 3 children.
The Hillsborough County Sheriff's Office said the woman made an Instagram Live saying her kids would be better off with God right before throwing them into a community pool. News Channel 8's Victoria Lucas is live in Valrico, right where this incident happened. Victoria, disturbing case. What are neighbors in the area saying about this situation?
The details are shocking for neighbors to take in, Josh and Paula. Some even saying a postpartum had a role in this, postpartum depression rather. But I want to give you guys a visual look into what happened here. You see these fences right behind me? These are in front of the community pool. And this is what court documents say. This area right here is where 24-year-old Shanice Willingham took herself and her 3 children over in an attempt to kill them all.
I've never been in that situation, but that's a lot of pressure, and if you don't have a support system, times are hard, you know.
Expectant mother of 8 months. Jasmine Force says while she can't understand the actions of 24-year-old Shanice Willingham, she can sympathize.
So a family called and stated that one of their family members was going through a mental crisis and wanted to kill herself and kill her 3 children.
Chief Deputy Joseph Maurer with the Hillsborough County Sheriff's Office says Willingham was arguing with a relative before taking her 3 children to a community pool. Court documents reveal Willingham posted an Instagram Live story saying she could not take it anymore, adding her children would be better off with God.
The young mother then went into the pool area towards the deep end of the pool, threw her 3-year-old, her 2-year-old, and her 8-month-old into the deep end of the pool. They do not know how to swim. She then went into the pool. She does not know how to swim.
Chief Maurer says family members were monitoring Willingham's social media posts and were able to get to the pool and save Willingham and her 3 children. Force says with the youngest child being only 8 months old, she believes postpartum depression played a role.
It's a lot on a mom, especially if she feels alone and isolated.
Chief Deputy Maurer has this for those of you at home. If you are going through a mental health crisis, at any point you can call 988 or 211, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Live in Valrico, Victoria Lucas, 8 on your side.
Tomorrow will mark 1 year since the storm surge from Hurricane Helene devastated parts of the area. And we know that many people are still trying and working hard to rebuild and recover. And tonight we're hearing from a woman who lost her best friend during that hurricane. News Channel 8's Jeff Patterson joining us live from Indian Rocks Beach. He has her emotional story. Jeff.
Good evening, Keith. 12 people in Pinellas County lost their lives 1 year ago as a direct result of Hurricane Helene, many of them from drowning. Heather Ann Bowles never thought one of her best friends would be among those who would die. When Hurricane Helene hit the Bay Area, it brought wind and rain, but it was the storm surge that did the most damage, as I saw for myself covering the storm as water started rushing in. The storm surge came in very quickly. On the Pinellas beaches, wind and waves brought seawater into streets and homes.
We did not evacuate, obviously, for Helene because we figured it'd be enormous. It'd pull the intercoastal out and we'd be fine.
Heather Ann Bowles has lived on the Pinellas beaches for more than 20 years. She and her best friend, Donna Fagerston, decided to ride out the storm at home. Then another friend came and said it was time to leave.
And he said the seawall breached. The seawall and the sand dunes, it's breached. We've got to go.
They went to Heather's mother's 3rd-floor condo. At some point during the night, Donna wanted to check on her cat.
And we thought it subsided. Donna walked downstairs to her condo, which was to the right, to check on her cat.
That's the last time they saw her alive.
And then Wayne, my mom's neighbor on the 2nd floor, came up and said there's a body floating in the carport.
She knew it was her friend.
And I just looked down and it was Donna because I saw her hair.
Heather Ann and a retired firefighter neighbor performed CPR and called 911.
They had to come by boat and they were, by the time they got there, they were exceptional. But I knew she was gone.
She says she wants everyone to know just how powerful these storms can be.
As a Floridian, being on the Bear Islands for 25 years, you cannot take this for granted.
Heather Ann says her friend Donna was an avid swimmer and a surfer, and so they have no idea what caused her to drown that night. Obviously, whatever happened, it was too much for her to overcome. Live in Pinellas County, Jeff Patterson, 8 on your side.
Now, I was covering Crystal River during Hurricane Helene. This is some of the video of me reporting there. Officials warned about storm surge, but the amount of flooding still surprised families and honestly us when it rolled in. Now, I met a good Samaritan named Will Bunch. He was a good guy with an airboat and was determined to help as many people as possible.
People are still in their houses, and we just been running back and forth trying to rescue people. There are a lot of people we seen on top of the vehicles. I mean, it was crazy. I ain't never seen nothing like this before.
Photographer Charles and I hopped on that airboat with Will and got one of the first looks at the devastation throughout the area. This video is from the Crystal River downtown area, ground zero for the flooding. Shops, restaurants, and other businesses were completely inundated with water. The surrounding neighborhoods also filled with feet of storm surge. Will tells me when I talked to him yesterday that he still can't believe the amount of damage and water that we saw that day immediately after Helene. Now he's part of the recovery, repairing and rebuilding homes hit by the storm. He says it's a really slow process.
I think as a community, everybody's coming along, and getting along and getting everything, back in order to where it was before. It'll never be like it was, but, at least get pretty close to where we used to be.
Storm definitely left a lasting mark. Many owners in the area are rebuilding their homes on stilts and taking other hurricane precautions. As for Will, he says he's not going anywhere, so he will be around with his airboat ready to help if a future storm hits.
I don't think that a lot of people today understand with freedom you have responsibilities, and that may be a cause of some problems.
People are now allowed to openly carry a gun in public. Our Polk County Bureau reporter Stacy DeSilva is joining us live in Lakeland to remind us that there are still some rules we need to follow. Stacy.
Yeah, Keith, that's right. People are allowed to have guns in the same places they were before this went into effect. So wherever guns were not allowed before, they are still not allowed now. Some gun proponents advise people, though, to still conceal carry. That includes Polk County Sheriff Grady Judd.
The law now says you can carry it openly. That's the law. I'm not a fan of that.
Sheriff Grady Judd is a self-described big Second Amendment guy, but he says open carry eliminates the element of surprise.
If you expose a firearm, you're making yourself a target, and you're telling the bad guy, I can rip this firearm off of this old man or this old lady, and then use it against them.
Law enforcement in the state will no longer be enforcing the state's open carry ban after an appellate court struck it down.
We're into some pressure right out here.
Al Delatorre owns Guns Galore in Lakeland. He expects holster sales to increase. Like the sheriff, he prefers concealed carry.
That believes personal choice. I agree with the extra freedoms, but I think you also have, again, be responsible.
When asked about the change going into effect Thursday, Governor Ron DeSantis said he is for open carry.
When you say that the sky's going to fall if you have open carry, well, I can look at 40 plus other states that have it, and I haven't seen the sky fall.
Still, guns are not allowed in certain areas, including on school property or governmental buildings. Private businesses can also prohibit firearms.
Once it's clearly posted, if you go there with a firearm and they ask you to leave and you don't, you resist, you become angry, then you're armed trespassing.
Now, Sheriff Judd is also calling on legislators to better define state laws when it comes to guns. In guidance from Florida's Attorney General, he writes law enforcement can continue to police those who exhibit firearms in a, quote, rude, careless, angry, or threatening manner in public. Reporting live in Polk County, I'm Stacy DeSilva, 8 on your side.